So now we're going to be taking a look into the deep dive of an Iowa-class battleship that has ran in my family since World War II. And yes, we are talking about none other than Battleship 62, or should I say, Battleship New Jersey, which was the second ship in a series of 4 in the Iowa class. She had seen service for 4 times in a row: World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and the 1980s. So in this video, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be telling you the full history of Battleship New Jersey. She was first laid down at the Philadelphia Navy Yard in 1941, and she was put into active service She was launched into the Philadelphia River in 1942, but she ended up touching her namesake state for like a brief few minutes. And then after that, she ended up going to the gun foundry right across from where she was, a few miles down, to where she got her guns. Her 16-inch 50 cal Mark 7 guns and 3 triple turrets. Not to mention, Battleship New Jersey also was the Iowa-class battleship to see the most action during World War II. She took part in many bombardment campaigns, such as Okinawa, Iwo Jima, but she did not take part in the surrender ceremony in Tokyo Bay in 1945. Instead, she was taken back to the US for a dry dock period, and she ended up getting her open bridge deleted and had been replaced with a closed-in bridge, which had remained all the way until the 1980s. Then after World War II, she said hello to the Mothball Fleet, or the Reserve, alongside her sister ship Iowa and Wisconsin at the end of World War II. She remained at the Philadelphia Navy Yard until she was recalled in 1951 for the Korean War, alongside Battleship Wisconsin and Battleship Iowa. And Battleship Missouri was the only Iowa-class battleship as well to actually been able to get over to Korea before her other 3 sisters were reactivated to see action once again. Then in 1958, she then again said hello to the Mothball Fleet once again. And then, after a good decade in the Mothball Fleet, she was recalled for active service once again in 1967. As the height of the Vietnam War reached its full height, Battleship New Jersey was recalled for active service once again. This time for shore bombardment in Vietnam, where she fired the most 16-inch and 5-inch shells from her World War II and Korean War combined. Not to mention a story from a great pop who served aboard Battleship New Jersey in Vietnam, World War II, and Korea. He always had the nickname of the autoloader. He served on the center 5-inch gun on the port side. He always had the nickname autoloader because he rapidly loaded shells into the right side of his mount every few seconds. So he had the nickname of autoloader, and he can reload it every 3 seconds, which is basically even faster than the average 5-inch gun. And then in 1968, Battleship New Jersey did numerous tours up and down Vietnam, all the way through until 1969. But then she was deactivated once again and put into the Moth Fleet, or the Reserve. And this time she was mothballed up in Bremerton, Washington, alongside Battleship Missouri, which has been there since the end of her Korean War deployment in 1955. And then Battleship New Jersey then she got recommissioned in 1982 by none other than President Ronald Reagan, a part of his election to bring the United States Navy up to a 600-ship Navy, and the Iowa-class battleship seen action once again. Battleship New Jersey was the first one to be reactivated in the 1980s because she served during the Vietnam War. But she sacrificed a little bit of her 5-inch power for 4 Fire-Lance close-in weapon systems, box launchers, and Tomahawk cruise missiles for the 1980s. Not to mention, it was kind of a sad life for the big girl, because only a year before President Reagan ended up commissioning the mighty Big J again, my great pop ended up dying in 1981 from cancer. However, Big J ended up serving all the way through Beirut, and she ended up serving all the way until she was decommissioned again for last and apparently final time in 1991. And then in 1990, she ended up being towed up from Bremerton, Washington through the Panama Canal down to the Philadelphia Navy Yard in New Jersey, where she remained until the Battleship Museum and Memorial ended up choosing Candaman to have the battleship put on display at the Candaman waterfront in New Jersey. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Please subscribe.